Frank Educational Gilmore, Councilman Ward F, and we're here today for the rewarding of the redrawing of the ward.
All right. Based on what you've seen today, how do you feel about everything?
I just feel like constituents in Ward F are being ignored. Haven't been a transparent process, and I'm hoping that the commission have taken into consideration the countless of individuals who came and spoke out against this current proposal. And for me, specifically, one thing sticks out, right? And that's what the law essentially states, that things have to be compact and contiguous. And if you look at the redrawing of this new map, you see the inconsistencies in the drawing of the line. Either you draw the line straight this way or you draw it straight that way. You don't go up, over, and come back down, go up and go over and come back down. So we're here. I'm here with my constituents. We're voicing our concerns. There's indoor around 300 speakers, and I took the pledge to advocate for the people and be a voice for the voiceless, and that's what I'm going to continue to do.
All right, for that. Now, if they don't take the voices of the people into consideration, what do you feel the next step should be?
The next step should be, there's going to be some type of legal ramifications or some lawsuit brought forth to put an injunction to slow this process down, to let the courts decide, because we cannot continue to muffle the voices of Black and brown communities.
Beautiful, Mr. Gilmore. Anything else you have to share with the people?
No, I just want to say that strength comes in numbers, and I'm elated at the level of engagement people have been pouring out thus far. So that's great. It's a great start. Let's keep up the momentum and continue to advocate for one another, and to continue to, most importantly, advocate for what's right. It's not necessarily a black or white thing. It's a right or wrong thing. It's what's right and what's wrong, and that's what we have to do.
I'm Councilwoman Denise Ridley, the Councilwoman for the Ward A section of Jersey City, and we're here today at the Redistricting meeting.
Okay. Based upon what you've heard today, how do you feel about what's going on?
I feel that, similar to my comments that were made today, that the process definitely needs to be more transparent. I expressed that to the Ward Commission. I think that in addition to the Ward Commission, we have to express that to the state, because a lot of their rules are handed down from the state. I know that I've already spoken to some of our state elected officials. I think in theory, the process is good to have a commission and to not involve people who are in elected office, to kind of keep the politics out of it. But at the same time, I think that the way the process is currently set up leaves the people who know the wards the best out of that conversation, and that's not good either. It leaves the council people out, it leaves the residents out, and that's not helpful.
Awesome. And what do you hope to see come away from today's hearing?
You know, I think the biggest takeaway from today is that people are concerned. They want their voices to be heard. We all understand that we do not get a vote, but I think that you can't have a map and move lines around and strictly look at numbers. Those numbers are real people, those numbers are real communities, and you need to know what's going on inside those neighborhoods, because people care and it does affect us.
And if in fact nothing does change with the outcome and if we remain on this path, what do you think should be the next step taken?
If nothing changes with this current draft map, my plan is to figure out a way to best engage the new area of my ward. My ward, as it is on this map, if adopted, is very separated. So I have to now figure out how to navigate both sides of that area. So if this is adopted today, for the next couple weeks, my job is to figure out how to navigate that. We lost some of our residents in Ward A. We gained some new residents. I'm sad about the residents we lost. I spoke with some of them this morning. They're upset. We knew it was a give and take process. We didn't realize we would be gaining so much. So it's definitely going to be a challenge reaching out to those new residents, but we will do what we need to do.
Awesome. Anything else you want to say to the people?
I just want to say I'm proud. I'm proud of Jersey City today. We showed up. We made our voices heard regardless of whether anything changes today or not. I think it's important that people showed up They let people know that they care, and they let people know that they won't be silenced. So I think today is a good day.
My name is Louis Spears, and I'm here for the redistricting meeting.
Based upon the things you've heard today, how are you feeling about it?
I don't want to be a pessimist, but I'm still unhopeful. I don't see the faces of the council, sitting up in the chambers. They're very. I gotta take this off. They're very despondent. It's like they don't even care that we are affected as a community. And it's unfortunate, right? Because the mayor's chief of staff is the chair of that committee, and it looks very white and very male. And I don't understand, if we're the number one diverse city in the nation, how does that happen from that perspective?
Okay, now one of the biggest concerns, you even said that the mayor's chief of staff is on the board. When Chris Gadsden asked him if they're actually going to be answering any of the concerns, his answer was no. How do you feel about that when it reflects the transparency of what's going on at City Hall?
I felt like he was very deflective. I don't know, because he was very particular about what he said. It's very deflective, and it's indicative of the current administration, right? That we have folks who represent us who don't necessarily care about what we think or feel, and they make decisions on our behalf as if we are, children or unable to speak and think for ourselves. So it's disheartening that we, 2022, that we're in this situation. I wish we could do better as a community, but unfortunately, our leadership doesn't think that great of us to allow us to make decisions on our own.
Now, based upon everything you heard, what is your desired outcome of today's meeting?
I think that they're just gonna go into their room, private room, and vote as they wanted to vote initially. I don't think anything that is said here is gonna make a difference, because it's really about political power and not about the people.
Okay. And if there is no change of action after today's meeting, what do you think the next course of action should be?
I mean, at the end of the day, we don't change the course of action irrespective to whether they change the boundaries or not, right? It's very clear. We need to stay in the streets, stay connected to the people, stay connected to the issues, and hold all of our elected officials and non-elected officials, just leadership in general, accountable.
Beautiful. Anything else you want to say to the people?
I love Jersey City.
Chris Gadsden, we're here for the ward redistricting efforts here in Jersey City.
Based upon what you've seen inside, how do you feel about it so far?
I don't feel comfortable with it. I just feel as though a ward, particularly historically black ward here in Jersey City, is being carved up, and the political influence inside of that ward is being diluted because of politics. And I think that it's sad. I think that this commission right now is just holding a vent session that they have to do legally, so that they can say that they met all the criteria in order to submit this map, to the state. But
if no change is taken upon today, what do you feel the next course of action should be?
I think it should be legal. I think we should be in court.